Can we give props to this guy who screen shares NEACE's screen sharing? Okay, that is amazing. Okay, you guys are actually fucking geniuses. Holy shit. I couldn't even think of that if I tried. That actually just made my day better. Holy shit. That is so much smarter than anything I would have come up with. And also shouts out to Rav being here and being awesome. So, I'm going to be going through, and again, this is mainly for unranked and iron players. However, I'm going to be going through everything that you guys are supposed to be going through today on the app, but we've obviously had bugs and kinks, which is fine. But I want to take a moment to reiterate some of these things and get you guys thinking about today. First, in the app, I made a whole video talking about champion agency. One of the most important things for us is making sure that we have a champion that actually works on the climb. All right, you guys need to be picking your mains. My whole point today, first, is to make sure that everybody knows your responsibility today is to have a champion that you're going to be maining. Oh my God, Israel's still talking in my ear. Shut up, Israel. Primary number 2 is we've got to get our settings right. All of our settings right. So my iron and unranked players, this is for you. So the main thing with settings, the first thing we're going to start with is when you get into this game, I'm going to make my settings like default-ish, right? So when you join this game for the first time ever, you're going to be like this. You're going to be on lock screen. It's going to be terrible. All right? You're going to move like this. You're going to click really slow. Your champion's going to go one direction for a really long time, and it's going to suck. All right? The first thing I want from you guys is I want you playing without lock screen. If you need to center your champion, unranked and iron players, mainly, if you need to center your champion, actually, some diamond guys still play lock screen, stupid. If you need to center, you press spacebar, okay? You should feel comfortable moving around without the camera locked. This should feel good for you. You should be very happy. You should be like, ooh, this is nice. I get to look at the grass around the map. Ooh, look, there's a flower over here. Ooh, there's some stones over here, right? Spacebar will always bring you back. You shouldn't feel like a fish out of water just because you leave your champion. This is very important. You should all be doing unlock screen. This is the expectation. This is the standard, right? The standard. That's what you used to say in the military. This is the standard. You will meet and exceed the standard. Next. And we're taking our time through this because I want to make sure all the newbies, because we got some boomers and we got some people in there. We got some grandmas in here that are trying to make challenger. We got to make sure that we take our time and go through everything nice and slowly, because I don't know if you guys remember the first time you looked at this game's cockpit goofy ass control schemes. The first time you ever looked at this game, how much of a mess this is. Let's just get away with this. Look at this. Like, just like I could just like click on a minion, like look at top left, top right, the mini map, all these little fuzzy colors. It just is like a blur, right? Next, after you fix your lock screen, you're gonna press escape. Right? It's gonna bring up your options. Ooh la la, unranked iron players. You're gonna go to HUD. HUD. You're gonna shrink this to 0. You know why you're shrinking this to 0? So if you look at my epic pen, this is all the real estate, the visual real estate that you will lose if you have your HUD big. So let me show you what I mean. It's even more than that. I even drew it badly. Look at this shit. Look at that. This is why you should have it to 0. This game is a game about getting as much information as possible and using that information and reacting to stuff, right? So we're playing on lock screen. We've got a tiny HUD. We're happy. Cursor scale. This is all preference. If you want to have a little dinky cursor, you can do that. I generally just aim in the middle. There's no real competitive advantage here. And then the big controversial one is minimap scale. I'm going to tell you the rules. Here's my rules of this. I don't want to see this. If I coach you and I see this, I'm just going to tell you to shrink it. This is not good. Okay? Unless you've got eye issues, this is a pretty tough sell. Okay, this is not good. For similar reasons as the screen real estate from the HUD talk earlier. Because all you really need the minimap for, you just need to be able to see icons on the minimap, heads, and what champions they are, right? And actually, when they bunch up like this, when a bunch of heads bump up, you need to know how many are there. So we have now officially covered lock screen, HUD size, minimap size, everything in regards to interface and basic camera control. So now we're moving to hotkeys. All right, this is one. Unranked, iron players, bronze players, silver players, newbies. This is important. Quick cast all. See the quick cast with indicator. Turn this off. This is very important. I'm going to show you guys why. So if you play with no quick cast, every time you cast an ability, you've got to aim it and click it, right? Aim it and click it. That's a lot of wasted time when you've got to be quick. Let's imagine that we've got a bunch of items for the purposes of discussion. And if I need to hit a bunch of targets really fast, I gotta aim and click, and oh my god, this is awful. How the hell does anybody play like this? Oh my god. Quick cast with indicator looks like this. It's a little faster, you know? It's not as clunky. It's okay, but it's not perfect. What we're gonna have you guys do is you're gonna turn off this. So your settings should look like this when you're done. What this is going to do is it's going to make you Korean instantly. You're instantly Korean. Immediately. It's an incredible transformation. And you're going to be able to hit all these dummies really quick because you're not going to have to deal with the indicator. Okay? You don't have to deal with the indicator anymore. And you can spam your abilities as fast as your heart desires. And you can aim and go quickly. I love showing this demonstration with Ezreal because I think it's very, very important to show how this all interacts with one another. Okay, so one thing I would recommend you do if you want to test your controls and make sure that they all work is just go into the practice tool like you see here and just spawn some dummies and see the difference. Now, the next natural progression question is going to be, NEACE, you stupid idiot asshole. What if you need to know the range of your ability? I already have that answer for you. And this is what, and again, in the app, we go over this too. You go to hotkeys, you go to abilities and summoner spells, and you're going to set your keys, shift 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So shift Q, shift W, shift E, shift R, right? So now what's going to happen is, let's say there's a scenario where you don't know your champion's ranges, right? Or you got a weird case like Rumble, right? Just like a shitty scenario like with Rumble where you've got to hit your ult in a strange spot. And Rumble's ult's like really far range and then requires like really precise aiming. So what you do is you hold shift and the ability that you want to cast, and now you have the flexibility, right, to be able to choose. So I can go like this, or I can manually aim, just like I was doing before, right? I have that option, and I can do that now. So you now have the flexibility to instantly cast, or if you need to be precise for whatever reason, right, you can do that. Isn't that nice? Chat, do you like that, chat, or no? As my wife would say, do you like that or no? Of course you like that. Who the hell wouldn't like to be able to have both, right? It's not more complicated. It's only complicated initially, and then you're good to go because you can always just choose, right? You simply just move your pinky to shift and then press your ability and you'll be able to see the indicator. And then you can obviously practice this in the practice tool. Very cool. So next up, leveling by hand. This one comes up all the time. So why is leveling by hand bad? I'm gonna give you guys an example. So let's say that we're 2v2 bot lane. Okay. And the thing about League is that, actually, I should do this properly and just go like this. The thing about League is that it's a minimized RPG. Okay. It's a mini, tiny, gentle RPG, which means that you're going to go through the progression of being a weak creature to a strong creature by the end of the game. Every time you level up in this game, just like an RPG, when you level, you are obviously stronger than your opponents. All right. So to give you an example, with League, you start with one ability, right? That's all well and good. In League, though, when you level up, you not only get a second ability, but every level up that you get gives you base stats, right? So watch Ezreal really closely. Watch his attack damage. His attack damage is going to go up to 67, right? Now, that might not sound like much, but his armor's going up. His MR is going up. His health regen's going up. There's a lot of things that are going up because you've leveled. And then add to the fact that you unlock abilities as well. And you can see why a level advantage is so important. So this is super, super important because if we're in lane and we level up, like so, let's say we level up, and you go to attack an opponent. And now, as you're attacking them, you have to click down here and then come back up. You're missing very, very small opportunities to kill your opponent. So what you really want to do is you want to be able to level up by hand. Or you basically want to be able to level up with the keyboard, not by leveling by hand. If you level by hand, you would click. But leveling up by the keyboard is you hold control and press the ability you want to level up. Okay? My finger does this. I have little tiny, tiny hands. I have small little gamer hands because I've gamed my whole life, literally. My hands are tiny. So for me, using my pinky on control is not that big a deal. All right? But some of you fucking sausage finger ass construction worker big dick in hands that you guys have, I totally understand if that's uncomfortable for you to have your pinky bent all weird. So the way that you remedy that, you bind it to something different, or you simply use the palm, the meat of your hand on control, and you can do that, right? But it's super important that you have a plan for how you're going to quickly level up. Because what I'm looking for is I'm looking for you to be able to level up. And let's say we turn level 6, right? And this is our ult, level 6. Say we turn level 6. I want you to be able to level up instantly, jump into a brush, rank your ability, and use it, right? I want it to be quick. Just like if you level up, I want you to be able to immediately rank up your ability and use it aggressively without putting your hands down here. So everybody understand, we should be leveling, and I talk about this in the coachings all the time. You guys basically paid for me to coach all of you at once. So that's why we're going through these motions here together. So everybody knows. This is why we do this. This is why I yell at people about this. I'm not doing it because I'm mean. I'm doing it because if there's a situation where where all champions are leveling up at the same time, imagine we're in the Wild West, right? We're all in the Wild West together. And we've got a whoopah, right? We've got to draw and shoot each other. Guess what? The person latest to draw is going to get shot in the ass, or I guess in the junk, right? Or in the boobs. You're going to get shot first because you're too slow, right? Leveling up should be quick, so you're able to level your abilities and do something with it before your opponent, so that your opponent doesn't beat you to the punch. That's why we do that. And also, the thing about League is a very snowbally game. If you take a bad trade, like let's say we take a terrible trade, that trade is going to haunt us for the rest of the game. It actually will, because if you take a bad trade, let's say in this example, we're late to level up. Now me and my bot lane, my supporter down here, and we're just getting pushed in all game, right? Over and over again. We gotta just sit here and watch waves die until our jungler comes. If that happened because we were too slow to level up, Oh my God, right? We just totally screwed our whole game up because of this, right? Being efficient in those first 5 minutes is super important. That's why I have you guys play the same champions. That's why I have you guys, make sure that your abilities are efficient, your leveling's efficient. Everything that you need to know about the game is efficient so that you're more likely to be in a favorable position after those 5 minutes. Ooh, it's a lot of info, right? It's good stuff. Next up, target champions only. This one's advanced. This is for everybody that's in here. Target champions only can be explained like this. Imagine that Ezreal is not a squishy, weak-ass, tiny champion, and he could tank towers for some reason, right? And he could dive. So, if we could dive, what's going to happen when you're new or when you're not new? I mean, I make this mistake to this day. I sometimes forget to do this. So, basically, when you're going to dive somebody, look at this big, stupid, obese, just absolutely gluttonous tower blocking me from being able to click on this target dummy. Your opponents will get pretty good at this. They're going to be, when they know they're about to get dove, when they know they're about to die under tower, and you need to hit them, last hit them or whatever, they're going to go to behind the tower and they're going to go like this. Because they don't want you to be able to click on them. They want you to click the tower, and then the tower goes, hee hee noob, like I target you and you lose, right? So, in order to remedy this, there's a button. It's called Target Champions Only. What this is going to do, if you hold this button as you go under, you will see, look at my mouse, and I'm going to zoom it up real quick so you can see it. Look at my mouse. Look at the center of the mouse. See that? Wee-oo. That right there, that is huge. That means that you can't target the tower. Look, I could try to target it. Fat ass tower. Not fat enough. I can't click on it anymore, right? But if I take it off, notice the tower, I can't click on the enemy champion. But if I hold this button, I can very quickly see that I'm targeting a champion. You see the little crosshair? This is huge because if I go under tower, I can target this enemy champion, and I can even move in between auto attacks, and I know for a fact that I'm clicking on an enemy champion and not that goddamn tower. So that's why this is an important thing to have. This is advanced though. I don't expect all my newbies. I don't expect them to know this. That's fine. Whatever. Don't care. But I want you to be aware that it's a thing. Also, if you go in game settings, you can choose to make this a toggle. Treat target champions only as a toggle. So instead of holding the button that you select, it's tilde by default. You can make it a toggle, so you press it once and it stays on. All right, that's preference though. That's whatever you guys want to do. Okay, I'm not gonna micromanage you guys on that. Next up, items. I don't think there's anything in here that's worth mentioning, but I am gonna skim it just to make sure. Yeah, there's nothing in here that's like super important in my opinion, unless you want to maybe hold on. Does the normal cast not work on these? Interesting. What if I do it like... Nope. I wonder if I could do this. Ooh, maybe I just learned something. No, it bugs. Shift bugs. Wait, no, it doesn't. There we go. So you can do a manual trinket the same way that we just did. In fact, I'm going to set that up right now because that's actually that important to me. So same thing that we just did with the ability cast. This is actually something I just picked up right now in this boot camp. I've never sat and screwed with this. So these trinkets, by default, you can insta place them with the settings that I gave you, right? If you want, you can actually set it so that you have the option, just like you did with the manual cast. You can make a shift 4 button here on trinket. And what this will do is this will give you the luxury to do cool things like that. Ooh. See how you don't have to risk? Right? And you know the exact range. Ooh, we like that. Right? There's all sorts of cool stuff that you can do with manual casting to give you that flexibility. But as a rule of thumb, I don't want you guys doing this. I want this to be how you ward most of the time. But it is nice to know the range. So when you need to ward something, you don't go any further than you have to. That's pretty much all I care about with the items. You guys, with your items and the way that you set your binds on items, you will see that you can do virtually whatever you want to do with items. There is one trick that I'm going to show you guys just to give you an idea of the flexibility that you can have. So check it out. Your left hand. Put your left hand on the keyboard. Okay? Like you're playing League, right? If you press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, feels pretty natural, right? Feels pretty natural. Once you get into 5/6 territory, you'll notice that your hands pretty much say fuck you if you're like me. And they don't really want to move that far without making things weird. Right? Everybody in agreement? Everybody understand? Gets a little weird. So this 6 slot, I don't find myself being able to access the 6 slot very easily, right? So I don't want to use 6 very often unless I absolutely have to, right? So what I do is I set my binds up a certain way. So my 1, 2, 3, 4, I have access to really easily. So if I need to place a ward, 4. Let me give myself some active items so you guys can see this. So as you can see, I can use all of my buttons, all of my actives really easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3. And then I've got this bound to my side mouse button. It's the one that goes at the tip of my thumb on the side of my mouse. So what I do is, let's say I need to use a Quicksilver Sash quickly. I'm able to do that without losing any steam. And then if I need to use my other actives, I can do that. And it's going to be smooth. Everybody copy? Everybody understand? And in this talk, chat, in the bootcamp general, how many of you are still awake? Hope I'm not boring you guys yet. So we've been hanging out for a while going over these settings. Want to make sure that everybody's here. Good. Good. Perfect. This is really important. You guys paid a lot of money for me to talk at you about League, so I want to make sure that most of you guys are getting something out of it, right? Perfect. Next up, player movement. Oh, newbies, this one's a good one. This is a good section. Player movement. So, I'm gonna give you guys a little secret about movement. I have a button that I use. Okay, the player stop position button. This is my gamer tick button. All right, if I had a tick, right, a gamer tick, right, if I had Tourette's, this would be my gamer tick button. Player stop position. What this is on the side mouse button, where the meat of your thumb is, not the tip of your thumb, the meat of your thumb. This is where I put player stop position. Everything else should be default if I'm not mistaken. Player attack move is A. I believe that's default. All this stuff is default. I don't really care about any of these settings. I care about player stop position. I've got a lot of ADCs that are rolling their eyes right now. I promise this is good for you. The reason that you use this is so that you can very meticulously position properly. Look at my Ezreal. Look. We go wherever we want and we can stop whenever we want. This may not seem like much, but in a game where slightest differences of positioning kill you, it's very important. Because what's going to happen is, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a robot. Sometimes I want to walk backwards. I want to walk here, but I click here. You understand? So what stop position is going to do is going to let you you're going to be able to slide into where you need to go without going too far. What also it does for you, what it means is that you can aim for minions and not auto attack randomly, and you have precise control of when you stop and when you auto attack, which is going to bring me to another quick intermission. Game auto attack setting. My auto attack setting is on by default. Personal preference, I would tell you to leave it on and to get used to using the stop command often. The reason why is because that little, like I said, that little gamer tick that I'm programming into your brain is so that it gets you used to the rhythm of the game. This might sound like pseudoscience, but video games are rhythm based. It's a rhythm game. Okay, clicking buttons and being active with your hands and getting in that rhythm is good. It's a good thing. So get used to having the ability to stop your movement. Now, if you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm just telling you right now that that stop command is really, really useful. And it's going to mean that every time you attack, you chose to attack. And it's going to give you that control that you need. Okay? Next, so the attack move click. So you guys can see this. You're an AD carry. You have visions of grandeur, right? You want to be reckless. You want to be Uzi. You want to be all these frigging weirdos, right? You want to be these guys. When you're a new player, this is how you're going to attack people. You're going to click on everybody. And then you're going to try to move, and then you're going to click on everybody. Pay very close attention to how my mouse is moving. Everybody see? I'm going to draw out what I was just doing. Okay, so how precise does this look to you as opposed to this? Now check this out. You also can select attack move on cursor and press A left click and do it like this. So you have the options. So what I'm doing, because I didn't really frame it well yet, is very simple. I'm pressing A to bring up my champion's attack range. I press A once, I can see my champion's attack range. If I click anywhere near a target, Ezreal is going to target somebody for me at the maximum range. See this line? Max range. Why is manually clicking bad? Because you probably don't know your max range. So if you click too close accidentally and then click, all of a sudden, you're inside your max range. Totally defeats the purpose of your champion. This is essential training, guys. This is like essential. You need to be able to do this, especially if you're an AD carry. If you're an AD carry and you know how to do this, this is terrible, but everybody should be able to do this. So you have the luxury now of being able to A left click. There's one little trick about this. Make sure you have the show attack range. If you go to interface and you scroll down, go to show attack range and turn that on. What this is going to do is it's going to mean that every time you press A, you're going to be able to see that range. At any time, you'll be able to see your range. And this is true, by the way, melee champions, stuff like Garen, stuff like Darius, they have ranges too. So it's nice to know those ranges. And you'd be surprised knowing those ranges can make the difference. So, good. Everybody still awake? Everybody still with me? Playing video games for real is a bit of a task, isn't it? So, next up, we got camera control. Ooh la la. This one's more for the advanced players. My Iron and Unranked people, you guys are you're still the priority on this whole talk and speech. But I do want you guys to set this up. So, right here, you see this? Toggle camera lock. Unbind that shit. Literally no reason to have a lock camera in this game. You'll have spacebar to center. Don't lock your camera ever. All right, the next thing. This will be set by default to F1. Why the hell would we need to select self if we have spacebar? There's no reason, so just unbind that. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna have allies. Basically, what this will do is if you press F1, F2, F3, F4, it's gonna go to your teammates. So if I pressed F1, I would go like this. If I pressed F2, I go like this. If I press F3, I go like this. If I press F4, I go like this, right? The reason this is important is because alternatively, you would move your camera by sliding your screen around. So you can obviously tell if you're a monster with F keys, which I'm not. This is why this is a high elo thing. F keys are faster. So you would really want to have these F keys bound. And my higher elo guys, I would challenge you to start using these. We do have a little F key challenge later on during the bootcamp for you guys. The next thing I'm going to tell you is that you can move your camera with arrow keys or whatever. It's garbage. The way you move your mouse or the way you move your camera around is with the mouse. That's how you do it. Move the mouse to the edge, press spacebar. Move the mouse to the edge, press spacebar. Move the mouse to the edge, press spacebar. Get confident in doing this. It's not hard. It just takes practice, just like with anything. Now, it's very, very important when it comes to the camera control, you go over to game and you tweak these settings. All right, your mouse speed, your camera move speed. This is what I'm after. Camera move speed is really nice to tweak to get whatever's comfortable for you. I just use 50. That's just my vibe. All right. You also can just click on the mini map to move your camera and fly it around really fast when you need to. That's camera control. Damn, this is a long session. Damn. Communication. All right, this one, there's only one thing that I really give a shit about. Well, there's actually, I'm sorry, there's two things. The first one is the area is warded ping. Your default pinging, this is all for Pinglish, which is there's another section for that. Your default pinging is if you hold Alt, hold left click, and drag your mouse around. See this little wheel? You get to choose what kind of ping you want. However you want to do it. So when I tell people in coachings to ping assist, that's an assist me ping. You see that? When I tell people to do a on my way ping, that's this. Hold Alt, drag to the right. The only thing that I really want you guys to make sure you have bound is I want you to have the area is warded ping bound to V. This is a ping that tells your teammates that an area is warded. This is a very, very valuable ping, and it's not bound by default, which is very strange. That's very Riot to not have that ping. Unranked Iron players, are you still awake? And other players. We have covered almost everything, I think. Scoreboard. We can go over item shop real quick, and then we'll go to video settings. So, the first thing about shopping is we have for the bootcamp 1, we had a thing talking about buying very quickly. Sounds dumb, but it matters. I made a whole section on it just because I really think it matters a lot. Buying quickly is very important. Best way that I can tell you guys to buy quickly. All right, chat, tell me something to buy. Sterix. Done. Now, the reason I'm able to do this fast, there's a couple things that are happening. The first thing is I am opening my shop, not at the start of the back, towards the end when I know I'm safe, right? Open the shop towards the back end of the back timing just to make sure, like, okay, am I getting screwed with here? You'll get better at this judgment over time. Now, a fun little drill that you guys can play with each other just to make sure that you're backing quickly is you can grab a friend and just be like, hey, tell me what to buy. See if I do it fast enough. So as you're backing, you should be thinking about the item. Someone said hull breaker. I think I need hull breaker here. You buy it, you're gone. Now, the key with this whole thing is that as you're backing, halfway through, you're gonna press your shop button. Mine is P. As you open the shop, you press whatever bind you want to open the search bar. This is gonna blow people's minds because most people don't do it this way. So all you gotta do in your hotkeys is you go to the item shop and you set your search bar button. So when I'm backing, I'm ready to type. So I'm gonna use both hands anyways when I'm backing. So I'm just gonna go like this. Let's say I need to buy a death cap, right? Right click it, press escape, I'm gone. This will save you time. This will save you a lot of time. All right, and your shop by default is P. Since your hand is probably going to be typing real quick anyways, that's why you only have to do it at the very last second. The very last second, you just move your hand off your mouse, P, boop, boop, done, right? And then you're gone. So yes, and then someone pointed out the other thing, you can instantly buy by right-clicking. You can instantly sell by right-clicking. You can close the shop with escape. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear that that's how I do it. Now, whatever you guys decide to do with your binds after this, that's fine. But if you're not as fast as me, that means that it's not good enough. Everybody in agreement. Other than that, guys, I think we've covered everything. Sound is pure, just whatever. Like, whatever you want to do with sound is all you. A lot of people, I would recommend the ambient sound just be gone. And you can tweak these. I tweak these all the time. Show spell cost is cool. Wait, yeah, I better turn that. I better not skip over this. I forgot about this. Show spell cost is very cool. Okay, look. What this does is this tells you exactly how much mana you need so you can do quick head bath. Look at this. You can have ability. You can do this in seconds, minutes, whatever. You could swap your mini map around, all that stuff. Show summoner names. You can do all that. And honestly, for entry level beginner stuff, that's everything, dog. That's all of it. That's all the settings. And yes, you can do those timers too. Where are they? Oh, timing in chat. That's outside of the scope of this. There's no one timing in chat in Unranked and Iron. We'll get to that later in the boot camp. So someone asked about XP range. I could show you this real quick. This is gonna kick me out, isn't it? Hold on. That ain't that big. All right.
I don't care where here is.
So I just want to show you guys real quick XP so everybody can understand how this works.
Follow the compass in their heart.
Oh god, I gotta sneeze. Oh, I hate when it's like the sneeze fake out, dude. The sneeze had evasion on. Wait, why did I hide these minions? Okay, wait. Let me. If you're a new player, it might be in your best interest to turn this little button on. The reason is because a lot of players don't know what XP range is. And you know what's really cool about League? And by really cool, I mean really shitty. Is that there's nothing in the game that actually shows you the experience range. Look at Ezreal. See that little XP thing popping up? He's in XP range. When minions die, if you're near them, you get XP. Look again. Please. There we go. So you see that XP? It's very important. You need XP. It's more valuable than gold in this game. Now, if you walk too far away... Come on, minions. If you walk too far away, you will notice that you do not get the XP. Watch closely. See, I got a little XP from one, no XP from this one. And that is every single freaking thing that you guys would ever need to know about League of Legends for newbies for settings. Quick recap. Oh my god. Recap. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'll recap all right. I'll open the window of this office and walk out of it. That'll be my recap.